Hello again, race fans. It is time once again for H1 Unlimited Hydroplanes to go racing. And if you follow this sport closely at all, you know that iconic blue bridge in the background can only mean one thing. We are in the Tri-Cities of Washington. It is the 55th running of the HAPO Columbia Cup here on the beautiful Columbia River. It's been 2 years since we put boats out here in competition, and we are ready to go. It is race number 3 on the H1 Unlimited circuit. We've got 8 boats here this weekend. We're going to take a quick walk through the pit area. I'll point out the 8 boats that are here. If we see a driver along the way, we'll stop and get a word from him. And if I take just a few steps forward, I get under the shade of the Bernie tree, and everybody knows how enjoyable that can be to get some shade here in the Tri-Cities. But let's start with our U12, the Graham Trucking, parked underneath the shade of Bernie's tree for a very good reason. The last time we raced here in 2019, this boat was victorious on the Columbia River, therefore won the opportunity to sit underneath this shade. But the difference is J. Michael Kelly was behind the wheel 2 years ago. Now the boat is driven by Andrew Tate. So they are enjoying the shade here of Bernie's tree at the far east end of the pit area. We walk around the Graham Trucking, and our next boat up on the list, the J&Ds, the U11, owned by Scott and Shannon Rainey. This boat, as you can see there on the sponson there, you can see a lot of gray paint on there. They incurred some damage at our last stop, which was the Gold Cup in Madison, Indiana. I talked to Scott Rainey a little earlier. He has been working very, very hard. He's got everything fixed. They are ready to go. He just ran out of time as far as having the boat painted. Something that was just pointed out to me, we have 2 former Miss Budweisers parking underneath Bernie's tree. Bernie's got to be happy up above. The former T6 Miss Budweiser is here. The J&Ds is the former T4. If I turn around, I think I find a friend of mine standing back here. His name is Andrew Tate. Andrew, welcome to the Tri-Cities, my friend.
Yeah, it's great to be back. Thanks for having me.
It's always good to be back in the Tri-Cities. Been a couple of years since we got to race. I know you're anxious to get back out on the water, but this time in a different boat.
Yeah, big red one this time. I never, as a little kid, never dreamt of a Tate in a big red boat, but here we are, and it's exciting. I'm glad to be here.
A big red boat underneath Bernie's tree. Doesn't get much better than that.
No, thank you, J. Michael Kelly. We greatly appreciate it down here in the U12 Graham Trucking pits, and hopefully we can make the most of it this weekend. It's going to be exciting.
Real quick comment about this boat. You have been beaten by this boat. You have beaten this boat. You've got 2 races under your belt. What's your initial impressions?
I think we have the equipment and the team and the know-how to go out there and do some damage. We're competitive. We know we're competitive. The boat's been competitive in the past. It's won this race in the past. As long as I do my job and we have a little bit of luck and minimize our mistakes, I think we're going to be in a good spot to make the final, and then anything can happen from there. You know, we've 2 races, 2 winners, so hopefully we continue that trend here in Tri-Cities.
Well, you mentioned you got a good boat, you've got a good team, you've got good equipment. I think you got a good driver too. Andrew, have a good weekend. Good luck, my friend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Andrew Tate, he'll be stepping behind the wheel of the U12, the Graham Trucking. So we'll step down to boat number 3. Interesting comment here. We've got, as you notice, when we're going to go through here, we have 2 red boats, 2 silver boats. We got 2 orange boats. And the 2 orange boats are up next. The first one here is the U40, the Beacon Plumbing. This is one of the big stories in the off-season as Kelly and Sharon Stockland went out and purchased this hull. It's the 2007 hull. They got it from Go Fast Turn Left Racing. They did an awful lot of work on this boat in the off-season. They hired Dave Villwalk to come on board and help out with the program. He's worked extensively on this hull. And then it was announced not too long ago, Dave Villwalk, the winningest driver in the history of H1 Unlimited Racing with 67 wins, is going to pilot the boat. He's run it in the first 2. This will be race number 3 for Dave. I'm going to backtrack here just 1 step or 2. Let me get down here. We have found Scott Rainey, the owner of the U11, the J&Ds. I was just talking about the boat and how it's not real pretty over there on the other side, but you told me earlier it's ready to go.
Oh yeah, we say it's not pretty, but it's pretty functional. Everything in the boat's been repaired, and it's been a long couple of weeks of hard work for our team, but we're ready to go. We're ready to go race hard.
From my perspective in Guntersville and what I saw online down in Madison, I think you have to be really optimistic about this boat.
Well, we are. We're frustrated with our performance back east. You know, we had some gremlins, and you know, it's unfortunate, but we just got to keep our chin up and keep fighting through and resolve the issues. You know, fix the problems, and on we go.
Well, go get this thing ready to go. Good luck this weekend. I know this would be something you would love to win.
Oh, we're absolutely wanting to win this race. There's a lot of good, tough competition here this weekend, and we're happy to be out and about and looking forward to, you know, putting a good show on for all the fans in Tri-Cities here.
We are looking forward to it as well. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
All right, Scott Rainey, owner with wife Shannon of the U11, the J&D's hydroplane. So we keep walking down pit row here. We talked about the two orange boats. Well, here's the first one. That's the U40. Now we go to the second one, the U40 and the 440. This is the boat that has run many times before. Dustin Eccles handles the driving chores on this one. It's the smaller boat with a little smaller turbine, but they've been running this boat for a long time. A couple of years ago, they turned a lap in Guntersville north of 150 miles an hour, and people started clamoring for the Stocklands to go get a larger boat with a bigger motor and see what they could do with it. Again, going to step back just one quick step here, because I found Dave Vilwalk here in the pit area, driver of the U40, the Beacon Plumbing. Welcome back to the Tri-Cities, man.
Oh, it's good to be here. This is one of the great places that we are able to run boats at, and it's got such a history here. It's going to be fun.
Well, and you kind of got close to the question I wanted to ask. You have had some great days out here on this river. Arguably, you've had your worst day here on the river. What does it mean when you think about this race course?
It's a place you just have to pick your fights, you know. And I think that really a couple of weeks ago in Madison, that was, boy, you know, it paid to pick your fights that day, you know. And so we've made things a lot better. The boat's going to be a little bit faster, and we'll see what we got for them.
I know you're ready to go. If you could win this race, you could move just on the other side of that crane and get some of Bernie's shade. That'd be kind of fun.
That'd be fun. I spent a lot of time over there. I like it over there.
You did. In those two hulls over there, at least you got two former Budweisers.
See, I was prepared. I built an umbrella bracket.
That's it.
So
close enough.
We made our own shade.
We have Bernie's tree. We have Dave's umbrella. Anyway, good luck this weekend.
Want it done right, just do it yourself.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thanks.
All right, Dave Vilwalk, driver of the U40, the Beacon Plumbing. If you can't have the shade, make your own shade. Well, here's one of the stories we can talk about, because back in Madison, Indiana, and in Guntersville, Alabama, the Miss Home Street ran, but the colors on the boat were black and gold, and it actually was the older of the two hulls that are owned by Miss Madison Racing. It was the 2007 hull, and technically the boat ran as the Goodman Real Estate presents Miss Home Street. For this race here in the Tri-Cities, the gold and black boat is back over in Tukwila at the boat shop. They have brought out the powder blue and white Bullet, the Miss Home Street. This is the new boat, the 2018 hull. Jimmy Shane will be driving. He shared duties back east with Jeff Bernard. It'll be Jimmy Shane. He'll be driving the Home Street. Look for them to be very, very strong this weekend. Turning around here, I mentioned we got couple of orange boats, we got a couple of red boats, we got a couple of silver boats. This again is another of the big stories in the off season, as Daryl and Vanessa Strong went out and first purchased the U9 and all the racing assets from Mike and Lori Jones. They announced Corey Peabody as their driver, and then shortly after the first of the year they got a hold of Eric Elstrom, purchased his racing assets to include a boat that last raced in 2017 on Lake Washington at the Seattle Seafair. You have here the U8 and the U9. J. Michael Kelly was announced as the driver of the U8, but right now I'm joined right here by Corey Peabody, and I got an interesting question for him at some point here. But first of all, welcome back to the Tri-Cities, Corey.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Great to be a part of the Strong Racing team in the Pinnacle Peak consulting boat, along with the Tri-Cities boat. Happy to be here.
You know, we talk so much about the boats and the drivers changing seats. We've had a lot of that go on, but then it's been 2 years since we got to go racing. How are you doing with this hull now? You becoming one with it?
I'm getting there. You know, driving a couple weeks ago at Madison, going through all the rough stuff and figuring out what the boat will do, and learning that gave me a big confidence boost. So we're going to go out there this weekend, and I'm going to see what I can do, and hopefully I can get some good qualifying speeds and run out front.
So my fun question that I want to ask you is, 2 years ago, I believe you were the winner of the karaoke contest. They're having that karaoke contest again tonight. You going to go out and defend your title?
Absolutely. That's what I'm here for also. Not only am I here for the race, but we're here for that. I got to do a repeat, and so tonight we'll see if that happens, and it'll be a good time for us and whoever comes out there and celebrates with us.
Absolutely. Well, have a good time at that. Have some good luck this weekend. You and I will be talking on the dock.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Corey Peabody, driver of the U9, the Pinnacle Peak Consulting boat owned by Daryl and Vanessa Strong. This is the former U9 that Andrew Tate drove so many years and drove it so very well. This boat has been victorious here on the Columbia River. Here is the U8, the next boat of the two that make up the stables of Daryl and Vanessa Strong. And I see I'm joined by J. Michael Kelly, who was recently named the driver of this boat. It's been a long couple of years without driving, but before we get into any of that, let's go back to Madison, Indiana. First and foremost, how are you, my friend?
I'm here. Still, I'm a little sore. The ribs got banged up a little bit. My face healed up pretty quick, but the ribs have been bothering me pretty bad. Although I was able to race at Black Lake at the Inboard Nationals, and then I went to Springfield, Ohio, and raced all week there at the Stock and Mod Outboard Nationals, and ribs held up. And so yeah, I just did a few modifications to my seat, and so I should be good to go.
I wouldn't think a couple of ribs like that were going to slow you down a whole lot.
No, as my wife would say, she would say, "Suck it up and just deal with it." But no, we'll be all right. I got some bandages and stuff like that. It's other guys have dealt with it, so I'll just have to deal with it too.
Tell me a little bit about this boat. You've been in it now at two different venues. You getting to know it pretty well?
Yeah, I mean, every lap I run in, I get it's still a learning experience or whatever going on for me. There's a lot to learn. Every lap helps. The boat's a rocket ship. It's fast, and I'm happy to be here in Tri-Cities. Little bigger course than Madison. Madison just it ate us up pretty good there. Alabama went really well, and so I'm happy to be here at Tri-Cities. I think the boat's going to be really fast here. I'm excited to race in front of all the people here in Tri-Cities, and Daryl Strong and Vanessa and the entire U8 team. Just happy to be here, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
Mike mentioned that back east they had a lot of fun in Guntersville, Alabama. Of course you did. You came away with a first place trophy out of that. So he is very happy. We're glad to have you here in the Tri-Cities. I hope you healed up and feel good. Have some fun this weekend. This is a great race. You've won it before.
Yeah, no, we're here, and I'm excited, and we'll just go run some laps and see what happens.
And by the way, when we talked to Andrew Tate down there, he said, "Be sure and tell Mike thanks for the shade."
Yeah, I hope he enjoys it, and maybe I'll get to sit into that tree next year. We'll see. It would have been nice to have some shade, but it is what it is, and we're here to go racing. We're here going racing, so I'm excited about that, and I'm sure all the fans are too.
Good luck tomorrow morning, starting at 8 a.m. We open this thing for testing. It's been 2 years. We're ready. Let's go.
Yes, let's do this.
All right. J. Michael Kelly, driver of the U8, the Miss Tri-Cities. And for those of you who follow this stuff real closely, if we can get our camera over here, there's been some discussion about the fans, the fact that the two boats are both silver and black, but if you notice at the back of the boat, the fairings are now colored orange. And you can't quite see it here, but the fairings were black on both boats. They are now orange on the U8 Miss Tri-Cities. They remain black on the Pinnacle Peak Consulting U9. So let's go for a walk around the crane. We'll step around. We'll step around Jerry Hop there, who is just getting his boat backed back in. Going to step around the boats here and take a quick look down pit row here because it's a long way down, but we want to get the camera down there and show you our 8th boat that is here for this weekend's competition. It is the U3, the Griggs Ace Hardware, the only piston-powered hydroplane on the H1 Unlimited circuit. They historically, being over the last 5 or 6 years, have only run in one race each year, and it has been this race in the Tri-Cities. The boat is owned by Ed Cooper out of Evansville, Indiana. He's been working out a deal with Charlie Grigg here of a local hardware store, the Griggs Ace Hardware, and providing the sponsorship Griggs has been for Ed to bring his boat out here. I think if he trains his camera right above those people that are starting to walk this way here in the pit area. In fact, right there on this group, you will see the Griggs Ace Hardware, the U3. They are here. They are ready to go. I can tell you that I was in their truck a couple of days ago. Count them, 4 V12 Allisons in that truck and trailer. They are ready to go racing. Look for them to run conservative, because that's normally what they do when they come here. They will put a couple of hot laps down. They will qualify, but look for them to run a little bit conservative, especially to begin the day tomorrow. And we're going to be on the water at 8 a.m. We've got vintage unlimited hydroplanes in here. We also have our E350 class hydroplanes here. Going to be a lot of activity on the water, but anytime one of our H1 Unlimiteds is on the Columbia River, you can watch the H1 Unlimited YouTube channel. We will be streaming it all live, and I can tell you, we are going to have some terrific racing here in the Tri-Cities. It is the 55th running of the HAPO Columbia Cup in Tri-Cities, Washington. Supposed to be hot, supposed to be sunny, racing conditions perfect. Keep an eye on the H1 Unlimited YouTube channel. We're going racing for the Columbia Cup. Until then, this is Brad Luce saying so long.